Hi, good morning. Nice to see you all. And I will be talking about my experiences and I'll be sharing a little bit about what ethics is all about. And I'll be talking about the meaning of being ethical. I'll talk about these things. If you look at our lives revolve around two simple words. And these two words are right and wrong. That's what lives are. In fact, every decision you make, every judgment you form revolves around these two words only, right and wrong. All our lives, we've been accumulating a sense of right and wrong. In fact, we carry this sense everywhere. Right now, also, you're not sitting alone. Your sense of right and wrong is sitting next to you, like an invisible companion. And this companion travels with you everywhere, everywhere. In fact, this companion travels with you to your office. Oh, sometimes this companion slowly nudges you also when you're about to do something wrong. कभी आपने सोचा है आप कुछ गलत करने वाले तो suddenly something stops you. That's your sense of right and wrong. And we all assume that having this sense of right and wrong makes me a good person. We all assume that having this sense of right and wrong makes me ethical. Believe you me, no. No. Being ethical is not about being right all the time. It's about three more things. It's about first, it's about having a sense of right and wrong and using it according to situations. That's the first thing. This is what we call moral sense. Second, it's about displaying something called empathy. It's about having a heart. It's about looking at other person as a human being. Now the second part. The third one, it's about having courage to act. And these are three things that makes us ethical. And I'll talk about these three things today. First up, I'll talk about this. Able to understand right and wrong in a given situation. That's the first thing I'll talk about. And this is a very important skill to have. Why? Because we humans land up in different kinds of situations. And in those situations, what is needed is you need to decide. And to decide something, you need to understand what is right in the situation, what is wrong in the situation. In fact, if you look at our lives are all about making decisions. We always make decisions. We make different kinds of decisions. Some are routine decisions. Like क्या खाऊं, क्या पीऊं, ओ सुबह से शुरू हो जाता है, उठूं या नहीं उठूं, सबसे बड़ा डिसीजन. उठने के बाद कॉलेज जाऊं नहीं जाऊं, स्कूल जाऊं नहीं जाऊं, one more big decision. Now these are routine decisions. But there are some decisions which are not routine decisions. These are decisions that involve moral choices. For example, just imagine it's your end semester exam. Your friend sitting next to you, it's an exam hall, end semester exam chal raha hai. Your friend sitting next to you is asking you for help. Come on, that's cheating. Now, this is not a routine situation. Or just imagine your colleague appropriates the credit for the work done by you. These are not routine situations. These are situations involving moral values of honesty and fairness. And during these situations, moral sense kicks in. And these situations test your actual sense of right and wrong. And having the ability to understand this is the beginning of having ethical sense. Now, what is very interesting about our life? We all can easily sort out issues of right and wrong. Suppose if I give an issue that deals with two things, right versus right. Right versus wrong, it's very easy. Okay, wrong one I avoid. How about right versus right? That's a difficult situation. So I'll just give you a small example here. And this is about one of my former students. Now, she was doing a PhD with me. And she had a month to submit a PhD. And thanks to placement department, she gets a job. She gets placed. And her placement was in Germany and she was joining a German research lab. Lovely placement, wonderful package. But usually when you get placed, you're happy. But this girl wasn't happy. In fact, she was full of anxiety. And the reason for anxiety was her father. It so happened 1 year before, his father retired from Delhi administration. And within 3 months of retirement, he developed stage 3 cancer. Being the only daughter, now listen to this carefully, being the only daughter, she had to be in Delhi for father's treatment. But at the same time, She had to go to Berlin also take up the job. Why? Because father's treatment needed money. Now, what should she do? If you are in her place, आप क्या करते हैं? Will you take up the job or will you stay with the father? Can you advise her? Can you? What should she do? कुछ सुनाई नहीं दिया. You'll take the job? You leave the father? Yes, these are tough situations. These are right versus right situations. These are really tough situations. And these are situations where your moral resilience is tested. And these are situations we call life choices. And one of the biggest ethical skill we all need to have is not about making decisions about right and wrong. It's also about making decisions about what is right and the other right. That's the first skill. And as I said earlier, being ethical is not about being right all the time. It's also about being a human. It's also about being empathetic. It's also about having a heart. Do you all have a heart? या दे दिया किसी को? कुछ सुनाई नहीं दिया मुझे. है. Okay, somebody is excited. He has a heart. Guys, do help him. Okay, jokes apart. Yes, we all have a heart. But the problem is, why is it we have a heart and we have a sense of empathy, but we never display it? So the second skill is all about displaying your sense of empathy. This is about being other-focused. We are all we only think about our own self. But being ethical is all about looking at others also, being other-focused. Now let me introduce you to this lady. She's an old, distressed widow, abandoned by her family. Look at the picture carefully. Abandoned by her family completely. She comes to government office one day because she was not getting a senior citizen pension. Her problem was she didn't have documents to prove her bona fides. And the Sarkari clerk sitting in the government office, he was following procedures. And without document, he was not able to process her application. And he was right in denying her the pension. But being right was a little cruel here, don't you think so? Look at her. She's suffering massively. And here, doing right hurts. So that's why being ethical is not about being ethical at the cost of somebody's misery. That's not right. That's not right. So that's why being ethical is all about having a heart also. It's about valuing other human. Oh yes, valuing other human. Okay, I just want all of you to look at this picture and count the bricks. Yes, you all count the bricks. There are 7 bricks in a head. You know what is interesting? You all counted the bricks, but you missed a hand. You all missed a hand, yes. It's quite a surprise. You counted the bricks, how can you miss the person? It's quite a surprise. That's the problem with us. We never see the human. And being ethical is all about seeing the human also. When I say seeing the human, that means you have to be other-focused. You have to make an effort to understand the other human being, their sufferings, their misfortunes. Oh, speaking about misfortune, let me take you back to 2004. We had a massive tsunami in our country. And once the tsunami got over, they were doing a massive rehabilitation work. During the rehabilitation work, we were meeting a lot of these survivors. So I met this lady. She survived tsunami. I met this lady and she recounted. She said something like this. She said, 24 घंटे पहले, 24 hours before, I had a home, I had a husband, I had 2 kids. 24 घंटे बाद, there was no home, there was no husband, no kids. Now that's misfortune. आप सोच के देखो 24 घंटे पहले लाइफ में सब कुछ है, 24 घंटे बाद लाइफ में कुछ भी नहीं है. Now, if you really want to be a good human being, you have to make an effort to understand others' misfortune. I'll speak of misfortune, speaking of being human, you need to make an effort to understand others' life, and that means you have to be sensitive. Speaking of being sensitive, let me take you on a small trip. चलो आपको थोड़ा सा घुमा के लाता हूँ. Let me take you to a salt pan. Namak, salt. It's the most common ingredient. हर घर में मिलता है नमक. And surprisingly, a lot of you don't know how salt comes to you. Salt comes to these pans. Now what you see on the screen is a pan. It's a salt pan. Seawater comes in, water stagnates, at the heat of the sun, water evaporates, salt crystals start forming. And once the salt crystal starts forming, once it gets a little crystallized, a bunch of workers will come, they'll scrape it, collect it on the sides for further drying. When the salt crystals are further dried, it's taken and dumped in the ground like this. And from here, later it's taken for processing. And after processing, the salt comes to all of you. Now, once today's day is over, once the event is over, as you're going back home, after you go back home, ghar jate saath go to your kitchen, open your kitchen cabinet, take out salt, namak ka packet nikalna, and empty it in a bowl of container. And after emptying it, just keep your fingers inside the salt. Koshish karke dekhna. Just keep your fingers inside the salt. Trust me, you cannot keep your fingers for more than 15 to 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, when you pull your fingers out, what you'll see is your fingertips will start peeling off. There's something called capillary action. Salt will draw water from beneath your fingers. And if you look at these pictures carefully, these people are working in salt pan bare feet. They work like this. Can you imagine somebody standing like that and working? That's how salt comes to you. Can you imagine their lives? Are you sensitive enough to understand their life? Now that's what being human is all about. Oh, speaking of being human, when was the last time you saw the other person as a human being? Oh, look at me. The moment I came on the stage, everybody looked at me. Oh, old man, you saw my skin color, you saw my name, that's it. Nobody saw me as a human being. Why is it we always see the other person's caste, region, religion, language? Why not the human being? And what is shocking is, the day I land up in the hospital, उस वक्त I need human blood. तब नहीं बोलते I need blood of this particular caste. तब नहीं बोलते I need kidney of this particular skin color. That time I'm a human being. Bottom line, if you really want to be ethical, it's not about being right. It's all about being a human first. And we're all humans here. And when I say be a human, that means first thing, learn to value other human beings. One. Second, act like one also. Speak of action. That brings me to the third part that makes us ethical. And the third part happens to be courage. Have courage to act. When I say courage to act, I'm speaking of courage like, something, we all have a sense of right and wrong. In our personal life, yes, in personal life, we all want to be right. How about responding to all the unethical things that's happening around us? How do you respond when somebody is taking a bribe? How do you respond when you see one of your colleagues is being harassed by somebody in your office? How do you respond? What is shocking about us is, I'm a good person, but I'm a wonderful bystander. मेरे आगे जो हो रहा है होने दो, because मेरे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. Being ethical is all about responding to the practice that's happening around us. Oh, when I talk about response, let me introduce two of my students. This was during my college days. One day after my class, after my lecture, two boys walked up to me. And they didn't have any academic doubt. They walked up to me and they said, Sir, पिछले 2 हफ्ते से, for last 2 weeks, we've been noticing there's a girl in the class. She's being harassed by this boy. And look at the boys further. They said, Sir, the girl, we don't know the girl. We have never spoken to her. But we have been watching this happening for last 2 weeks. And yesterday, कल कुछ ज़्यादा हो गया. And इतना ज़्यादा हो गया that we both went and confronted the boy. And the moment we confronted, that boy got a little aggressive. And that's why we came to you. And the girl doesn't know that we are talking to you. And we request you to intervene and help her out. What was very remarkable of these two boys was, the whole class was sitting and watching the girl getting harassed, but nobody walked up to me. But these two boys had the courage to walk up to me. Now that's the courage I'm talking about. Don't be a bystander. Have a courage to act. Oh, speaking of courage, let me take you to Tirupura. And let me make you meet this young girl called Jyotsna. Her name is Jyotsna Akhtar. And she not only fought of her child marriage, she also ensured she started a small campaign inside a class and school about child marriage. She raised a voice against child marriage. And slowly her small voice became a district-wide campaign. Yes, district-wide campaign. And because of her campaign, she even got Rashtriya Bal Puraskar also. When a girl in Tripura can stand up and have a voice, what is wrong with us? So being ethical is also about having a voice. Stand up. And being ethical, in short, is all about three things. One, think. First thing, think. Second, act. And third, feel. Oh, speaking of feel, I want you all to indulge me here. I have a small request. Can you all feel your face? आप अपना चेहरा छू सकते हो, please? All of you. Can you all feel your face? Yeah, अपना चेहरा छूने में शर्म आ रही है? Yeah, अपना चेहरा. Just feel your face. Feels good, right? Feeling your face, it feels amazing. Feel your eyebrows. Feels good. Just imagine the face it feels good to feel one's face. Just imagine tomorrow morning, when you get up, you wash your face. After washing your face, you just look at the mirror. And the moment you see the mirror, you notice you don't have a face. Can you imagine a life without a face? आप लोग हंसी आ रही है. Can you imagine life without a face? You cannot. You cannot. But there are young girls in this country who live a life without a face. These are victims of acid attacks. And usually all of them are young girls. Can you feel them? Can you feel others' lives? Now that is what is being human all about. And that is what being ethical is all about. Think, feel, and act. Thank you so much.